Do you understand what it truly means to be wealthy beyond your wildest imagination? Allow this question to enter your consciousness and linger there. Have you ever pondered the emptiness of accumulating money merely for the sake of accumulation itself? Have you dared to confront the hollowness of achieving vast wealth without a clearly defined purpose? My dear friend, you may toil your entire life, building your fortune higher than the towers of Babylon. Yet if your riches do not serve a grander aim, they shall crumble into dust, leaving you poorer than you began. The path to riches, if traveled without a deeper understanding, leads inevitably to dissatisfaction and spiritual emptiness. I have witnessed countless men accumulate great fortunes only to discover, in the twilight of their lives, a bitter realization. Money alone, no matter how abundant, cannot fulfill the inner yearning of the human spirit. I speak to you not from theory, but from first-hand observation. Through many years spent in the esteemed company of giants such as Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, and John D. Rockefeller, men whose lives provided irrefutable evidence of this truth. Andrew Carnegie, the great steel magnate, confided in me an insight that shook my understanding of true wealth. Despite his unparalleled fortune, he recognized that money itself held little lasting satisfaction unless linked to a greater purpose. He devoted his later life to philanthropic endeavors, understanding that true wealth is measured not merely in dollars, but in the legacy it leaves behind. He understood that fulfillment of purpose, using wealth to elevate others, provided peace that no mere monetary accumulation could ever match. Thomas Edison, that incomparable inventor, once remarked to me that his greatest riches were not stored in bank vaults or property, but in the joy derived from bringing light to millions of homes. Edison's satisfaction was born from purpose, from knowing his efforts alleviated darkness and improved the human condition. Henry Ford, too, echoed this profound sentiment. His mission was clear and unambiguous: to put the automobile within the reach of ordinary men and women. His wealth was merely the reward for achieving his clearly defined goal. John D. Rockefeller, perhaps the richest man of his era, shared similar wisdom. He affirmed that accumulating riches solely for the sake of status or opulence was meaningless folly. True wealth, he proclaimed, lay in the disciplined pursuit of a clearly defined purpose and in the ultimate realization that wealth is a means to an end, never the end itself. Rockefeller's vast philanthropy stands as a testament to the profound truth that genuine riches serve humanity and leave an enduring impact on civilization. Reflect upon your current state of wealth and purpose. Do you accumulate money blindly, driven by nothing more profound than habit or fear? Do you rise each morning propelled by a clear and burning desire toward a worthy goal? Or do you wander aimlessly, drifting from one endeavor to another without genuine intent? Answer yourself honestly, for your response determines your ultimate destiny. The person who accumulates riches without purpose builds upon a foundation of sand, subject to collapse with the slightest challenge. Let this realization be your awakening. Understand this well. The chase for wealth, without definite aim, is the most insidious deception humanity faces. Wealth, when pursued without purpose, becomes a master that enslaves rather than a servant that liberates. But the moment you align your efforts with a clearly defined noble purpose, you unlock riches of every imaginable sort, not merely financial abundance, but spiritual satisfaction, emotional tranquility, and a life imbued with profound significance. To illustrate the point further, let us momentarily revisit the life of Henry Ford. Despite his immense wealth, Ford chose simplicity, eschewing ostentation in favor of practicality. He understood that his true riches resided in the purpose behind his success, the democratization of transportation. Wealth was merely the outward symbol of his success in achieving this purpose. Thus, his legacy endures, not solely because of his financial empire, but because of the profound impact his clarity of purpose had upon society. Take heed of these profound lessons. Money amassed without a defined purpose lacks the capacity to fulfill you. You may purchase luxury, but you cannot buy peace of mind. You may indulge in pleasure, but genuine happiness will elude you. True riches come only when your accumulation of wealth is linked inseparably to a clearly articulated purpose that benefits humanity, contributes positively to the world, and elevates your own spirit. Therefore, you must reflect deeply and honestly. What is your definite major aim? What purpose fuels your daily efforts? Without answering these questions, your pursuit of wealth remains incomplete, insufficient, and tragically meaningless. No accumulation of wealth will satisfy you if the accumulation itself is the entirety of your goal. Instead, discover your true aim, your deepest passion, your most burning desire, and align every ounce of your energy toward its fulfillment. I now place before you a powerful affirmation, which I implore you to repeat aloud with conviction and sincerity. Let these words permeate your very subconscious until they become a core part of your identity. I am ready to understand wealth and purpose beyond mere riches. As you speak these words, commit yourself to finding that purpose that transcends the superficial pursuit of wealth, a purpose that will grant you the wealth of spirit, peace, and lasting significance that money alone can never provide. By accepting this truth, you commence a journey richer than any mere material endeavor. With purpose guiding your accumulation, wealth becomes a tool rather than a tyrant, an instrument for greater good rather than a mere idol to worship. Your prosperity thus grows beyond measure, and you will soon realize that you have become so wealthy, so profoundly abundant, that you question the very meaning of chasing money at all. This is the true state of wealth. This is the height of human achievement. Understand clearly, the purpose behind wealth is infinitely more valuable than wealth itself. Your quest for riches must be grounded upon the bedrock of a clearly defined and morally sound purpose. Your pursuit must never be blind, but always purposeful, driven by principles that elevate not only your own life, but the lives of those around you. Align your actions accordingly, and the true meaning of wealth shall be revealed to you, transforming your existence forever. Now is the time to embrace this profound understanding. Do not delay. Resolve today, in this very moment, to find clarity in your purpose. Let your wealth serve as a beacon, illuminating not only your path, but also the path of all who follow your example. Wealth, when harmonized with purpose, possesses the rare power to elevate humanity and secure your everlasting peace. Embrace this truth wholeheartedly, and your journey toward unimaginable riches, material and spiritual, begins now. True wealth is not merely money in the bank, nor land, nor stocks. It is the ability to think clearly, to act decisively, and to move toward a definite objective with unshakable belief. Without purpose, riches become burdens. But with a definite chief aim, every dollar you attract serves as a tool for higher achievement. Definiteness of purpose is the cornerstone of all lasting fortune. No man ever accumulated great wealth who did not first plant deep within his soul a clear, burning desire. That desire, when backed by faith and action, takes root and becomes the force that moves the world to your command. I observed this principle in action when a young man named Edwin C. Barnes determined to become the business partner of Thomas Edison. He did not hope. He did not wish. He decided. That decision became his obsession. Though he had no money, no influence, no backing, he had one asset, a definite purpose. Barnes traveled by freight train, arriving in Orange, New Jersey, looking more like a tramp than a businessman. Yet in his mind, he had already sealed the partnership. He introduced himself to Edison and requested an opportunity. Not a job, not charity, an opportunity to prove his purpose. Edison sensed the intensity of Barnes's desire. Though he did not offer him partnership, he gave him a minor position. That's where most would stop. but Barnes saw that position as his gateway. For 5 years, he waited, served, studied, improved, and prepared. His mind never left the aim. Then came the moment. Edison developed a new dictating machine. His salesmen doubted its market potential. Barnes seized the opportunity and volunteered to sell it. He succeeded where others failed. Edison rewarded him with a contract to distribute and market the machine. Barnes became his partner. The man who had arrived with nothing but purpose and desire walked away with wealth, respect, and the realization of his aim. He had transmuted desire into riches because he was definite. Let this burn into your soul. Riches always respond to definiteness, never to drift. Most people wander through life hoping for luck, waiting for something to happen, but wealth does not respond to hope. It obeys those who declare with absolute clarity, "This is what I will have. This is what I shall become." The world stands aside for such a man. Ask yourself now, what is your definite major purpose? Can you write it in one sentence? Can you see it in your mind with such clarity that you feel it in your bones? If not, you are drifting. And a drifter never becomes truly wealthy, no matter how much money he touches. Write it out, say it aloud, repeat it daily. Let your subconscious absorb it. Let it govern your thoughts, your actions, and your decisions. Wealth will begin to move towards you, not by magic, but by law. The law that serves those who move with definiteness of purpose. Barnes had no advantages except one, a clearly defined aim. You too may lack resources. You may have no inheritance, no connections. But if you can hold a burning desire, so intense it shuts out all doubt, you possess the seed of any fortune you wish to grow. Many men of vast fortune started with nothing but desire. They were not lucky. They were focused. Their riches were not accidents, but effects born of a cause. That cause was a definite chief aim. Decide now what you will achieve. Do not wait for the right time. The right time is the moment of decision. Too many waste years chasing random opportunities, shifting their aim with the winds of doubt and the opinions of others. Their results are equally scattered, but the man who concentrates all his thought and energy on one chief aim becomes a magnet to money, to men, and to opportunity. Wealth without purpose leaves a man hollow. His bank grows, but his soul withers. He accumulates out of fear, not faith. He clings rather than creates. Such a man is never truly rich. He is a prisoner of his own uncertainty, and no amount of gold can free him. To be rich in truth, you must first be rich in purpose. That purpose must become your obsession, your chief thought upon rising and sleeping. Every decision, every habit, every hour must be brought into alignment with it. In time, the world conforms to the clarity of your demand. Declare this aloud. I possess a clear and burning desire toward a definite purpose. Let that affirmation echo within. Let it awaken your mind and stir your spirit, for this is the beginning of wealth, conscious wealth, lasting wealth, purposeful wealth, and this is the kind that matters. Begin now. Do not leave this moment without naming your aim. Do not permit another hour to pass in drift. Write your chief aim. Speak it with conviction. Let your words shape your world, for all riches first take form in the realm of thought, then come forth through faith and action. This is the first law of wealth. Define what you seek. Without this, nothing follows, but with it, all things begin to arrange themselves in your favor. Desire becomes direction. Direction becomes decision. Decision becomes wealth. And wealth, in turn, becomes meaning. Now that you understand what true wealth begins with, let us move forward to the next great pillar, faith. The unseen power that gives wings to your purpose and turns thought into substance. Faith is the element, the chemical, which when mixed with desire gives life to your purpose. Without faith, your definite chief aim remains a hollow idea. But with faith, that idea becomes animated, charged with power. Faith transforms mere wishes into realities and draws fortune to your doorstep. Let me say it plainly. Faith is not blind belief. It is certainty born of repetition and emotional conviction. It is belief so firm, so absolute, that it does not waver in the face of difficulty. It does not shrink when opposed. It does not wait for proof. It creates proof. Henry Ford had no formal education in engineering. He was not trained by any recognized institution, yet he believed absolutely in his vision of producing a motor car for the masses. That belief, that faith, made him deaf to critics and immune to ridicule. It carried him forward. He was told again and again it could not be done, that his ideas were foolish, that the masses would never drive, yet his mind was anchored by faith. He had seen the end in his imagination, and no doubt could unseat that vision. His factory was built first in his mind. He demanded from his engineers the V8 motor. They told him it was impossible. He refused to accept that. Produce it, he said, and when they failed, he demanded again. Month after month, they returned with failure. But Ford's faith did not waver, and eventually they succeeded. You must understand, faith is the only antidote to fear. Fear is the devil's tool. He uses fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of failure to paralyze men. But faith makes a man immune to these poisons. It allows him to act boldly even when others hesitate. You cannot acquire faith by wishing for it. It is built through autosuggestion. That is the repetition of affirmations stated aloud with emotion and belief. You must speak your definite purpose each morning and each night. Speak it with feeling. Let it sink into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious does not reason. It accepts what you feed it, good or bad. If you repeat doubt, fear, or indecision, it accepts and produces results accordingly. But if you repeat confidence, clarity, and belief, it will reshape your habits and behavior until they align with your spoken word. Faith is the medium through which infinite intelligence operates. It is your bridge from thought to manifestation. Whatever you plant in your mind and nourish with faith will grow. Whether it is abundance or poverty, success or failure, peace or confusion, it is faith that makes it real. Repeat this affirmation with me. I have absolute faith in my ability to achieve my desires. Say it now. Say it again. Each time you repeat it, you push doubt away. Each time you affirm it, you drive the nail of certainty deeper into your foundation. Faith must be emotionalized. Cold words have no power. But when your affirmation is felt in the heart, not just uttered by the lips, it begins to move your subconscious into action. The world will begin to arrange itself in ways you cannot yet foresee. But it will move. Let me give you another example. My own son, born without ears, could not hear. Every doctor told me he would live in silence forever. But I refused to accept that. I implanted in him, through years of faith-charged affirmation, the belief that he would one day hear. That belief became his reality. Though born deaf, he developed the ability to hear, first through mechanical aids, later through refined senses. He became a pioneer for others with similar conditions. That was not chance. That was the power of faith applied with relentless consistency. The faith you require does not demand that you understand how your desire will come to pass. It only demands that you believe it will. The how is not your concern at first. It is your duty to define the what and to affirm it with certainty, daily and repeatedly. You may say, but I do not yet believe. That is precisely why you must use autosuggestion. Repetition births belief. Speak your aim. Speak your vision. Speak your success. Do it every morning, every night, until one day you feel the shift. The words become belief, then action, then fact. Do not wait for faith to appear like a breeze. Build it like a fire. Fuel it. Stir it. Protect it from the winds of doubt and the waters of fear. Speak to yourself with such intensity that the world cannot help but notice. Faith must be spoken into being. Understand this clearly. Men do not fail because they lack ability. They fail because they lack faith in their ability. The soil of opportunity is rich, but it requires seeds planted in belief. Without faith, you hesitate. With faith, you act. Action backed by faith always wins. Fear and faith cannot occupy the same space. One must drive the other out. If you entertain fear, you expel faith. If you cultivate faith, fear flees. Your mind must become a fortress where only faith resides. Guard it, reinforce it, strengthen it through daily affirmation and action. When Ford built his factories, when Edison built his inventions, when Carnegie built his empire, each of them first built belief. They repeated their vision internally until it became more real than the doubts surrounding them. They acted not with perfect knowledge, but with perfect faith. You can do the same. Begin today by speaking aloud your aim. Then add this: I believe I will receive it. I act now toward its realization. I remove all doubt. I welcome all guidance. I move forward with courage. Repeat it until you no longer need to remind yourself. And let us say again together, I have absolute faith in my ability to achieve my desires. That is your shield. That is your sword. With it, you will carve out riches far greater than gold, for you will hold the power that makes gold obey your will. We have now laid the foundation with desire and cemented it with faith. In the next step, you will learn how to give structure to this force. You will learn the necessity of organized planning, the blueprint that directs the power of your belief into definite daily construction. Desire is the engine. Faith is the fuel. But without a plan, even the finest engine cannot move an inch. Organized planning is the bridge between thought and wealth. It is the definite method by which your belief is transmuted into material form. Riches bow only to structure. Every great fortune ever created came as the result of a plan, never by chance. Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest men of his time, attributed his success not merely to steel, but to a carefully constructed system. He knew where he was going and laid out a path to get there. Carnegie surrounded himself with thinkers, doers, and specialists. He formed a mastermind group, a council of men with knowledge he lacked, but who shared his purpose. He delegated with precision, trusted those with ability, and coordinated every part of his empire with clarity and order. Your plan need not be perfect. In fact, your first plan will likely fail. That is not failure. That is instruction. When one plan fails, build another. Keep building. Keep refining. Wealth belongs to the man who persists with purpose and adjusts his methods until the result is secured. Begin now by writing out a clear plan of action for the achievement of your definite aim. Do not wait for perfect information. Use what you have, then act. Every plan is improved by motion. Do not delay under the pretense of preparation. Action sharpens all plans. List the steps, name the resources, assign dates, specify what you will give in return, define how you will measure progress. This is not a dream, it is a map. A man without a plan is a ship without a rudder. The currents of life will toss him endlessly. Now gather your mastermind group. Select with care. You must seek individuals who are loyal, capable, and in harmony with your aim. There must be no envy, no confusion, no contradiction. The mastermind must be united in purpose and bound by mutual respect and confidence. Make your group official. Meet regularly. Share ideas. Challenge errors. Encourage progress. Hold one another accountable. The combined intelligence of a harmonious group multiplies the creative power of each member. This is not theory. It is law. Infinite intelligence flows through coordinated minds. Do not fear that you lack the right people. Begin with whom you can. Invite one person who shares your vision, then another. Let your definiteness draw the right minds to you. A man of purpose becomes a magnet. Your plan will attract what it needs. Organized planning is more than charts or schedules. It is mental discipline expressed in writing. It is the process of giving shape to your dream. You are the architect. Your plan is the blueprint. Without it, you are left to wander. With it, you command your path. Let me repeat this. The man who acts daily upon a definite plan, no matter how crude, is more certain of riches than the genius who drifts in endless preparation. Clarity of action is more powerful than complexity of thought. Begin. Adjust as you go. Do not remain still. Remember this. Every battle was first won on paper. Every fortune was first written in a notebook. If your plan exists only in your mind, it is not yet real. Put it to paper. The moment you write your aim and method, you signal to your subconscious, this shall be done. Add this to your plan. What will you give in exchange? No riches come without a price. Will it be your time, your labor, your focused attention, your sacrifice of comfort? Define the cost. Then pay it daily. You cannot cheat the law of compensation. You must give to receive. Affirm with me now. I take immediate and organized action toward my definite aim. Say it aloud. Let it settle. Your plan is the tool. Your action is the movement. Together, they create the structure upon which wealth is built. Delay nothing. Begin now. Think of Rockefeller. His empire was not born from spontaneous luck. It was planned, revised, and executed. He studied markets, formed alliances, built systems, and moved with silent determination. Behind every outward success lies inward structure. Behind every fortune lies organized thought applied through action. You may stumble. You may encounter obstacles. But your plan is your compass. When storms come, refer to it. Adjust your route, but never the destination. Keep walking forward. Each action guided by your plan brings you closer. One step at a time, you climb the mountain. Involve your mastermind in the refinement of your plan. Let them sharpen your thoughts. Let their strength become yours. Their insight will reveal what your own mind overlooks. Together, you form a fortress against failure. Isolation is weakness. Alliance is strength. Many fail, not from lack of desire, but from vague plans. Someday is not a strategy. Maybe is not a method. Be precise, be deliberate. Let your every hour serve the plan. Let your every choice align with your aim. This is the way of the wealthy. When you plan, you gain power over time. When you act, you gain power over circumstance. When you adjust, you gain power over failure. Wealth responds to order. Let your life become ordered. Let your thoughts become tools. Let your habits become bricks in the mansion of success. Say once more, I take immediate and organized action toward my definite aim. Let that affirmation govern your days. Begin each morning reviewing your plan. End each night measuring your progress. Wealth is no accident. It is a system. It is a method. It is the product of ordered thought. Desire gave you the flame. Faith gave it fuel. But planning gives it direction. Now that you have laid the map, the time has come to build the engine that never stops. Persistence. Without it, your plan means nothing. With it, your plan becomes destiny. Persistence is the quality that separates the wealthy from the merely ambitious. It is the iron will that refuses to bend, the inner fire that does not flicker when the winds of failure blow. Without persistence, desire fades. Without persistence, faith dies. Without persistence, no plan survives the test of time. Every man who has accumulated great wealth has been tested. Each has faced defeat, delay, and ridicule, but he persisted. He refused to surrender. When the door was slammed, he knocked again. When turned away, he returned stronger. When told no, he answered, I will. Look to Thomas Edison. 10,000 failures did not break him. 10,000 setbacks only refined his aim. When others would have surrendered, he adjusted. He persevered, and through that persistence, the darkness of the world was replaced with light. His name lives because he did not quit. You must not wait for motivation. You must act when you feel discouraged, when all seems lost, for that is the moment persistence is tested and strengthened. To persist only when it is easy is not persistence at all. Real power comes from enduring what others flee. Temporary defeat is not failure. It is feedback. It reveals the flaws in your plan, the gaps in your preparation, the weaknesses in your belief. Use defeat as your teacher. Let it strengthen your spine and sharpen your purpose. A man who persists cannot be defeated, only delayed. Repeat this to yourself. I persist through every setback, for I am destined for wealth. Let that truth anchor you. Write it down, speak it aloud, carry it within. When you are tired, speak it. When you are doubting, speak it. When you are falling, speak it again. Persistence is a habit. It is forged by daily decisions. Every time you follow through instead of quitting, you strengthen the muscle. Every time you choose action over excuse, you become harder to stop. Wealth belongs to the man who keeps going long after others have gone home. Even the strongest plans meet resistance. The greatest desires face doubt. But persistence turns resistance into fuel. It breaks through obstacles not by force, but by refusal to turn back. It wears down barriers through consistent pressure, dripping water hollows stone, not by power, but by perseverance. Your mastermind must also hold you accountable to persist. Tell them your aim. Report your action. Share your defeats. Let them remind you of who you declared yourself to be. Isolation breeds weakness, but in alliance, your persistence is multiplied. Make persistence visible. Track your progress. Reward your consistency. Do not hide from the process. Let each small victory prove to you that success is unfolding. The man who persists knows this. Effort today becomes wealth tomorrow. Do not let today's discomfort steal your future riches. Think of the gold miner who stopped digging 3 feet from the vein. He had the tools, he had the knowledge, but he lacked persistence. Another man came after him, dug just a little further, and struck the fortune. Success was there all along, he simply stopped too soon. You must not stop, no matter how long it takes, no matter how slow it feels. As long as you move forward, you are progressing. 1 action per day becomes 30 per month. 1 improvement per week becomes 50 per year. Persistence compounds, and that compound becomes wealth. Repeat with me now. I persist through every setback, for I am destined for wealth. Feel the strength of those words. Let them burn the weakness from your spirit. Let them become your shield against fatigue, fear, and failure. You were not made to give up. When others question your vision, persist. When the bank account is low, persist. When the plan fails, persist. When your energy falters, persist. When you forget why you began, persist until you remember. For the man who does not quit cannot be beaten. Even nature proves this law. The seed persists through soil and stone. The river persists through rock and mountain. The sun persists through clouds and storm. And so must you. You were born with the same universal force. Use it. Refuse to stop. Set a time each day to review your aim. Remind yourself why you began. Rekindle the fire when it dims. Do not allow time or circumstance to erase the vision you once saw so clearly. Hold it. Defend it. Move toward it relentlessly. The world gives way to the man who insists. It fears him. It respects him. It obeys him. And he becomes wealthy, not by luck, but by law. The law of persistence rewards the faithful. It punishes the weak-willed. Choose which you shall be. Now write this on your wall, in your book, in your heart. I will never quit. I will never drift. I will never surrender. I will persist until I win. This is the oath of the wealthy. This is the creed of those who build legacies. With this quality rooted in you, no defeat can stand. No failure is final. No delay can discourage you long. You are now unshakable. And from this place of power, we move into the next chamber of wealth, the secret strength of self-control and discipline. Shall we continue? Wealth without discipline is a fleeting shadow. It arrives loudly and departs silently. Many have gained fortunes, only to lose them through excess, pride, or emotional weakness. But the man who governs himself who disciplines his mind, his habits, and his appetites becomes the master of riches, not its slave. Self-control is not denial, it is direction. It is the ability to act based on purpose rather than emotion, to spend with reason, not impulse, to speak with thought, not reaction. The wealthy man disciplines himself as a soldier trains for war. He does not wait for ease. He commands himself. John D. Rockefeller was known not just for his wealth, but for his composure. In moments of panic, when others acted in fear, he remained calm, deliberate, calculating. That calm came from discipline. He understood that emotions are servants, not masters. He ruled his inner world. Therefore, he ruled his outer world. Charles Schwab, a disciple of Carnegie, rose not just from brilliance, but from character. His charm, his work ethic, and his quiet discipline earned him the highest salaries of his era. He led men not by command, but by example. His life was a lesson in balanced power. You must learn to rule yourself. If your emotions rule you, your wealth will escape you. A single outburst, an unchecked indulgence, a moment of foolishness, these can destroy what took years to build. Discipline is the wall that protects your riches from yourself. Begin with your money. Track every dollar. Know where it goes. Know why it goes. Create a habit of intentional spending. Refuse waste. Embrace simplicity. Not for poverty's sake, but for mastery's sake. You must prove to your mind that you are in command, not your desires, not your habits. Discipline your time. Eliminate hours of drift. Appoint each segment of the day to purpose. Rest, yes, but only as planned. Leisure, yes, but only as earned. Wealthy men live by schedule, not by whim. They move with clarity, not confusion. This habit alone separates them from the crowd. Discipline your mind. Feed it daily with definite thought. Starve it of complaints. Reject gossip, doubt, fear, and meaningless talk. Read purposefully. Speak intentionally. Let your mental diet be as clean as your physical one. What you think becomes what you are. Discipline your body. Wake early. Eat with restraint. Move daily. The body is the servant of the mind. If it is neglected, the mind grows sluggish. If it is mastered, the mind grows sharp. Wealth requires energy, endurance, and strength. Build these deliberately. Discipline your emotions. Do not allow anger, jealousy, or fear to dictate your actions. These are enemies of wealth. When they rise, observe them. Do not react, respond. Let your higher self take control. Let your purpose speak louder than your feelings. Affirm this aloud. I exercise unwavering self-control, building lasting wealth. Say it now. Let those words bind your mind to your higher nature. Say it in the morning. Say it in adversity. Say it until discipline becomes second nature and weakness flees from you. True discipline is not punishment. It is liberation. The undisciplined man is a slave to every urge. The disciplined man is free. He chooses, he directs, he builds. And because he can govern himself, life grants him power over opportunity, over people, and over wealth. Without discipline, a man may gain money, but he will not keep it. He may start well, but he will not finish. He may inspire others, but he will not lead. Discipline is the invisible structure behind every visible success. It is the unseen force behind the mansion, the empire, the legacy. Do not confuse discipline with rigidity. A tree bends in the storm and survives. So too must you be flexible when needed. But flexibility without structure becomes chaos. You must know the line. You must walk it daily. That is the path of the powerful. Track your habits. Observe your reactions. Measure your time. Set standards for your conduct. Decide who you will be, and act accordingly. The man who knows himself, who disciplines himself, walks into any room with quiet command. His presence speaks louder than words. Write out your discipline plan, how you will manage money, how you will command time, what you will feed your mind, how you will train your body, what emotions you will master. Review it daily. Discipline, like any muscle, strengthens with repetition and weakens through neglect. Let me remind you, the wealth you seek is not merely gold or land. It is the power to direct your life according to your own will. And that power is unlocked through discipline. Riches without self-control are temporary. Riches with discipline become dynasties. Repeat this. I exercise unwavering self-control, building lasting wealth. Declare it as law. Let each word shape your conduct. For when you are governed by principle, wealth cannot help but obey your summons. From discipline springs peace. From peace, clarity. From clarity, sustained wealth. And from wealth governed by discipline comes the ability to reflect, not just on how much you've gained, but on why you gained it. You begin to question the chase, not in confusion, but in wisdom. Now that you command your conduct, sharpen your focus. The next step is the refinement of thought, the exactness of thinking, and the mastery of attention. Without this, your riches scatter. With it, they multiply. Let us now move to accurate thinking. Accurate thinking is the foundation of enduring wealth. It is the ability to separate fact from fiction, truth from opinion, principle from noise. Without it, even the most intense desire becomes misdirected. With it, every thought becomes a tool for building riches, not illusions. The majority of men do not think, they react, they assume, they accept. But the wealthy man insists upon clarity. He demands proof. He questions constantly. He does not act on hearsay. He does not form conclusions from gossip. His mind is a courtroom, not a playground. Alexander Graham Bell did not invent the telephone by accident. He observed, he questioned, he tested, he refined. His thinking was accurate, methodical, deliberate. He removed guesswork. He pursued facts. And the result was an instrument that changed the world and made him wealthy beyond measure. Luther Burbank, the botanical wizard, improved plants through scientific thought. He did not pray for miracles. He created them through focused experimentation. He understood the laws of nature because he studied them with discipline. Accurate thought gave him control over life itself. The same law applies to you. If your thoughts are vague, your results will be the same. But if your thoughts are precise, grounded, and clear, your results will reflect that order. Wealth is the child of exact thinking. Disorder in mind leads to disorder in results. Begin with this practice. Question every belief you hold about money. Ask, did I prove this or did I inherit it from others? Is it based on fact or fear? On principle or prejudice? Root out all falsehood. Replace it with reality. Let your mind become clean and sharp. Next, learn to define every problem accurately. Do not guess. Investigate. What is the real obstacle? What are the facts? Who is involved? What variables exist? Accurate thinking demands courage, for it often reveals uncomfortable truths. But truth is the soil from which riches grow. Control your attention. Your mind must be focused. A scattered mind produces scattered results. Choose your aim and concentrate all your thought upon it. One purpose, one direction, one target. Let every thought, every action, every moment serve that single objective. Your attention is your most valuable asset. Guard it. Do not waste it on triviality. Avoid useless arguments. Resist distraction. Refuse to be pulled by every opinion, every headline, every sensation. The man who controls his attention controls his destiny. Practice filtering information. Accept nothing without evidence. When you hear advice, ask, is this based on proven principle or mere emotion? When you read, ask, does this serve my purpose? When you speak, ask, are my words guided by thought or impulse? Repeat this now. I think clearly, accurately, and control my attention completely. These words are your protection against confusion. They build mental walls that block out deception and self-sabotage. Let this affirmation become your daily oath. Accurate thinking also requires that you distinguish between essentials and non-essentials. What matters? What does not? The rich man prioritizes with precision. He does not waste energy. He cuts away distraction like a sculptor carves stone until only the masterpiece remains. Let your chief aim dominate your mind. Let it be the lens through which you evaluate every idea. If a thought serves your aim, keep it. If it weakens it, discard it. Let your mind become a temple where only worthy thoughts are permitted entrance. Measure your progress. Thinking must produce results. If your current method does not work, change it. Do not cling to error out of pride. Accurate thinkers adjust. They do not excuse. They refine. And they grow wealthy because they constantly improve. Study successful men, not for admiration, but for pattern. How did they think? What questions did they ask? What did they ignore? Imitate their discipline. Learn from their precision. And apply it with the same relentlessness. Great minds think clearly, and clear thought creates great wealth. Keep a journal. Write your observations. Track your decisions. Evaluate your thinking. This builds self-awareness. It prevents drift. It creates a record of improvement. The wealthy man is not casual about his mind. He is vigilant, deliberate, and always learning. Surround yourself with other accurate thinkers. Let your mastermind group challenge your logic. Invite disagreement, but require reason. Accept correction, not from critics, but from wise counsel. Truth is more valuable than pride. Accurate thinkers value truth above all. Say once again, I think clearly, accurately, and control my attention completely. This is not a suggestion, it is a command to your mind, to your habits, to your results. Let these words build a mental fortress that protects your aim and directs your focus. Inaccurate thinking is the cause of most failure. Men assume they know, but they do not test. They do not clarify. And so they act on error. The price is wasted years, lost fortune, and bitter regret. But the man who insists on clarity wins because truth never betrays. As you refine your thinking, your decisions become faster and more certain. Your confidence grows, your action becomes sharper, and money flows not to confusion, but to clarity. The world pays high for clear thought. It always has. It always will. Now that your mind is focused, your thoughts accurate, and your attention controlled, you are ready for the next principle, the invisible magnet of wealth, the habit that draws fortune to your feet. It is time now to learn the power of going the extra mile. Going the extra mile is not merely a moral suggestion, it is a law. It is the principle by which riches are magnetized. When you give more than you are paid for, when you render service beyond the call, you call forth unseen forces that begin to work in your favor. Most people do the minimum. They stop at what is required. They meet expectations but never exceed them, and so they are paid accordingly. But the man who gives more than he must, who delivers more than he promises, is soon noticed, remembered, and richly rewarded. I have observed this law in action for decades. No principle brings greater returns. It is impossible to apply it consistently and not grow rich. W. Clement Stone built his empire by this rule. He instructed his men to always give more attention, more energy, more service. Stone understood what few do. The world repays in kind, multiplied. The seed you plant in extra effort returns not in drops, but in floods. It may not come at once, but it always comes. The law cannot be broken. Going the extra mile builds invisible credit. This principle must be practiced as a habit, not an exception. Do not wait to be asked. Do not do it to be seen. Do it because it is who you are. The man who always gives more cannot remain ordinary. He rises because his value exceeds the price paid. Make it your daily goal to exceed the standard. Arrive early, stay longer, think deeper, work harder, smile more, listen longer, suggest solutions, anticipate needs. Whether you are paid little or much, behave as though your worth is limitless. Soon your pay will catch up. Do not confuse this with servitude. You do not diminish yourself by giving more. You exalt yourself. You elevate your spirit. You expand your capacity. You transform your identity into that of a leader, a builder, a person of increasing power. Repeat this aloud. I always deliver more than expected, attracting abundant wealth. Say it now. Let it become your creed. Make it the rule of your conduct. Write it where your eyes will see it. Speak it when you are tired. Live it when no one is watching. Wealthy men have this trait in common. They are producers, not consumers. They think in terms of value, not cost. They always seek to give more, not because they are told to, but because it is ingrained in their character. They are always seeking to increase usefulness. When you go the extra mile, you multiply your relationships. Others begin to trust you, refer you, promote you, support you. Doors open that you did not knock on. People speak your name in rooms you've never entered. Why? Because you gave more than you took. The law is simple. You cannot outgive the universe. What you give returns, not always from the same source, but it comes in ways you cannot predict, from people you never expected, but it comes, for it must. Life always balances the scale. Ask yourself each day, where can I give more? What can I add? How can I lift? If you are employed, treat the business as your own. If you are building your own, treat each customer like royalty. This attitude alone will separate you from 99 out of 100. Even in hardship, give more, especially then. When your resources are small, your effort must be large. Let your character shine when your circumstances are dim. This is how wealth begins, by increasing your value even when you feel unseen. Soon you will be impossible to ignore. There is no wasted service. The extra minute, the extra thought, the extra care, it plants seeds you cannot always see. But in time they blossom, and the man who plants constantly harvests continually. He does not wait for seasons, he creates them. Write this truth in your heart. Riches flee from those who do just enough. Riches chase those who do more, not because they must, but because they may. The extra mile is not a burden, it is a gateway. The one who walks it becomes uncommon, and the uncommon man becomes wealthy. Let your mastermind hold you accountable. Challenge one another to exceed. Share daily how you went further, served deeper, rose higher. Build a culture of surplus effort. Make excellence your norm, not your exception. Then wealth becomes your reflection. This principle applies in speech and action and thought. Go the extra mile in listening, in patience, in forgiveness, in discipline, in every area. For how you do one thing is how you do all things. And when your life is governed by surplus, so will your bank. Once more say it. I always deliver more than expected, attracting abundant wealth. These words are power. They are not poetry. They are law. Write them, repeat them, obey them, and you shall attract opportunities faster than you can chase them. You will soon reach a point where wealth begins to pour in, more than you imagined, more than you believed possible. And in that moment, a new thought will arise. Why do I chase this still? What is the purpose beyond the wealth? That question signals your maturity. Now, we move to the final part, to the true meaning of wealth, to the question only the rich ever ask, what now? You are ready. Let us conclude with purpose. There comes a moment, if you persist, if you apply the laws, if you think, act, and give rightly, when wealth arrives in such abundance, it no longer excites you, not because it lacks value, but because you've become something greater than wealth itself. You now begin to question the chase. You ask yourself, for what purpose was all this gained? That question does not arise from weakness, but from awakening. It is the question of the wise, the question of the powerful, the question of a man who has climbed the mountain and now wishes to see beyond its peak. At this level, you no longer ask how to make money. You ask how to use it. You no longer seek to impress others, you seek to elevate them. Your identity is no longer attached to possession, but to contribution. You have become wealthy, not just in gold, but in soul. Andrew Carnegie reached this point. After building an empire, he turned his fortune toward building minds, libraries, institutions, foundations. His wealth served humanity long after his hands left this earth. He had learned that the greatest use of riches is to uplift others. You must now decide, what will your wealth mean? Shall it end with you or pass through you? Shall it serve your comfort only, or shall it become the seed of 1,000 better lives? This is your final examination. And how you answer will define your legacy. True wealth seeks expression. It desires to move. It grows by circulation, not by hoarding. Use it to build, to teach, to free, to inspire. Let it become the wings of those who have none. Let it light torches where the world is dark. Let it bless. This is not charity, it is responsibility. To whom much is given, much is expected. If wealth finds you, it is because you proved ready. And now it watches. What will you do? Will you cling or will you channel? Will you preserve or will you multiply by giving? Do not wait for excess to begin. Give now, serve now, create now, even in small ways. Each act of directed generosity aligns your soul with your riches. You become whole, not just rich. Your conscience clears, your peace deepens, your joy magnifies. Repeat this. My wealth serves a higher purpose, enriching humanity and myself eternally. Let these words define your mission. Speak them daily. Let your wealth obey these words. You are not a reservoir. You are a river. Let the riches flow and the source will never run dry. Look to the greats. Edison used his wealth to fund invention, Ford to better industry, Carnegie to educate, Rockefeller to heal. None were perfect, but all came to understand. Money without meaning is a form of spiritual poverty. Money with meaning is eternal treasure. Ask yourself, if all your needs were met, what would you create? What would you fix? Who would you lift? This is the question of the enlightened, wealthy man. He no longer serves gold. Gold serves him, and he serves purpose. This is the highest form of wealth. Build a vision for your riches. A second chief aim, not for acquisition, but for application. Define how you will give, what you will build, who you will help. Let this vision drive you just as desire once did. Let it energize you with the same fire. You will find new power in this stage. Your creativity will soar. Your enthusiasm will return. Because now, wealth is no longer about proving, but expressing. No longer about earning, but fulfilling. You are no longer chasing, you are becoming. Do not fear that giving will reduce you. The more you serve, the more you grow. The more you give, the more you command. The law of increase multiplies through circulation. Wealth that is withheld dies. Wealth that is used rightly lives forever. Create something timeless, a business that uplifts, a book that teaches, a system that empowers, a structure that outlasts you. Your wealth can become a message carved into the future, a statement that you were here and you mattered. When your money and your mission are united, peace arrives. You no longer worry about status. You no longer crave comparison. You sleep deeply. You wake purposefully. You feel light, for you have found what most never do, a reason beyond the riches. Repeat again. My wealth serves a higher purpose, enriching humanity and myself eternally. Let that be the banner of your life. Let it be the compass that guides your action. Let it be the truth that defines your journey. This is the final step to freedom. And now I ask you to look back. You began with desire. You found faith. You built plans. You persisted. You mastered self. You sharpened thought. You gave more. And now you give meaning. This is the full path. This is the true journey to riches. But remember, this is not the end. It is the beginning. For a man whose wealth serves a purpose is a man who never stops growing. His life becomes a legacy. His name becomes a blessing. And his riches, both seen and unseen, become a force that shapes the world. So now, my final command is simple. Go. Use what you've learned. Speak your aim. Act with faith. Plan with precision. Persist with iron will. Master yourself. Think clearly. Serve greatly. And give meaning to all that you have built. If you follow this law, you shall indeed become so wealthy, so inwardly full, so outwardly blessed, that you will question the very point of chasing money, and in that moment you will understand. You were never chasing money. You were chasing who you were born to be.